I married my wife about 2 years ago, and she has a daughter from a previous relationship. Early on during our dating period, she made it clear that her daughter has a father, and she's not looking for another father for her. The ground rules were set by her, and I'll be an adult figure but not a parental one. I will have no say in how she be brought up, and I can't punish her in any way. Considering she was a teen when her mom and I met, and when we married, I agreed to her rules. I thought she was already too old for me to make any difference in her life, so why make it an issue? Fast forward a couple of years, and my life has become a nightmare. This girl constantly gets in trouble and has been kicked out of several schools. She lived with her father at the time. She had to move in with us to attend a new high school to graduate. She's been suspended several times at this high school, but she'll graduate on time. While living with us, she's gotten into 2 car accidents. Once she had been drinking, and we had to remortgage our house to pay her attorney fees and legal bills. The judge dressed us down in court for not being better parents. I'm not a legal expert at all, but from movies and shows, I know that judges can jail you for arguing, so I bit my tongue and took it. It was humiliating. The girl is a couple of months away from being an adult, and this weekend, I was out with the guys, and she came up in conversation. I complained about how much money I'd spent bailing her out of trouble, and that I couldn't wait until she turned 18 so she could face her own consequences. Word got back to my wife, and she blew her top. I still didn't think I said anything wrong, but I'm staying at a motel tonight. I want to be clear, we're not kicking her out, and considering she doesn't work, she'll be living with us for a while. I'm just waiting for the day she's an adult, so I won't be yelled at by any more judges. Am I the idiot? Dude, why are you so worried about being jailed? Trust me, you're already in a prison of your own making. If you're not a parental figure, why are you paying for these things at all? You're stupid. Sorry to say it, but under those requirements, I would have never remortgaged my home to pay her attorney fees. Where was her daddy at? Why couldn't he and her mother pay for it? People will treat you how you let them treat you. Your friends suck too. Who goes back and runs their mouth when their friend is just blowing off steam? All of this. Am I not to be a parental figure? I can't punish her when she's acting out, and I can't be a guiding hand in raising the kid? All right, fine. Have it your way, but I'm not paying the cash to keep her out of jail. That's her choice. She can take the consequences of her actions. Mom is not going to pay for the mortgage. She's not making any money. OP's getting the short end of the stick here, 3 ways. It sounds like the stepdaughter lived with the bio dad for at least a while before moving in with OP and Mom. It's possible she chose Dad because he was the more lax parent, and Dad screwed her up, and Mom is just dealing with the consequences. Heck, it sounds like Dad just said, "Screw it, I'm done," and left Mom to deal with it. Mom isn't great, but Dad had the majority custody, or the kid at least loved Dad. Dad probably bears the most responsibility for all of this. Yes, that definitely is a possibility too. Unfortunately, some parents deliberately let their kids get out of control to punish their ex. I'm so sorry, OP. You are not the idiot, but you should probably be rethinking your whole marriage, because this will not stop when she turns 18. Your wife is the issue. I have no idea why you were even in court to be yelled at, since your wife has insisted that you have no responsibility over her daughter. Your daughter's legal parents should have been with her in court. Updated. Am I the idiot for counting down the days until my daughter turns 18? Thank you for taking the time to read my story. I wrote it while I was very angry, so I left out some details. However, I read through all of my responses and will answer some common questions. I built the house myself before I met my wife, so it's solely mine. I call it ours, not because she's on the papers, but because she's been living here and we're married. My wife doesn't really ask me to help out, but I make more than she and her ex combined. She struggled to pay for her daughter and could never afford an attorney. I know my wife would be heartbroken if her only child was jailed, so I decided to pay for an attorney to keep my wife sane. The bio dad lives several states away and has gone low contact with his daughter. I'm not exactly sure why, because I was never told the reason. I didn't have to go to court, but my wife had to go, so I took the day off to go and support her. When the judge ordered the parents to come to stand before him, my wife could barely walk, so I held her arm and helped her to the bench, which was why I was standing there. I've never had any dealings with the court outside of speeding tickets, and I took care of those with the clerks. Standing in front of a judge who could jail me made me terrified, and having him yell at me was the most humiliating thing I've ever gone through, which is the main reason why I'm so excited for this girl to turn 18, so I'll no longer be called out in front of a judge. The first car she wrecked was her mother's old car that was gifted to her when I bought my wife a new car. The second car she wrecked was my old car I gave to her when I bought myself a new car. There have been no talks of getting her another car because her license has been suspended. However, my wife said that I can't think like it because she'll always be our child no matter how old she is. OP, you are the idiot, to yourself, for letting these people treat you like this. Set some boundaries and have some consequences. You've done more than you needed to when it clearly stated that you shouldn't be involved since your wife was in charge. She will always be her daughter. She'll probably be bailing her out till the daughter comes to the very bottom, and there's no other way out but to pay her own dues. Good luck. You're gonna need it, sadly. This past weekend, a group of friends from high school and I got together on Saturday. The last time I'd seen them was a year ago, and I, 23 female, was a bit overweight. I've been having health issues for a while, making it hard to be active. Since my metabolism is horrible, I gained a lot of weight. I was about 5'7", 210 pounds. I resolved my health issues, and I've been able to hike and work out again, so naturally I started losing weight. I'm about 165 now. Not back to my normal, but I'm much happier now. I went from obese to just a bit overweight. This weekend when we got together, one friend, Derek, said, "You lost a lot of weight. You look great. Congrats," or something like that. I said, "Thanks for noticing. I'm a lot happier now." A girl in my friend group, Serena, who isn't my favorite to be honest, said it's not appropriate for Derek to comment on anyone's weight, and I shouldn't reinforce that it's okay. Serena has always been kind of bossy, telling people what they can't or can't say or do. I told her it's a personal preference, and since I'm not insecure about myself, I don't have any issues with people commenting on my weight or appearance, but I'll be sure never to bring up her weight or appearance in the future, since I know her preference. Our whole group of 10 sided with me, except Serena's best friend. Those two decided to go home and have been texting me, telling me what an awful person I am. Am I the idiot for saying thanks for noticing when my friend commented on my weight and reinforcing that it's okay to do so? It's generally considered rude to point out weight gain, but you've been working hard and it shows. Derek just acknowledged that. He did nothing wrong, and you did nothing wrong by thanking him for the compliment. Not the idiot. Serena's an odd one, to be sure. I'm detecting a hint of jealousy from her and her best friend. It's also rude to point out weight loss, as it can frequently be due to illness. As a general rule, I always avoid talking about the weight of other people, both about weight gain and loss, because it's objectively a delicate topic. I can see why she was upset if he had a habit of doing this. Not everyone would be happy to receive that comment, but it isn't on your OP to respond disingenuously. What? The receiver of the compliment didn't mind it. Some other chick didn't like it? LMAO, imagine being so entitled about someone else's boundaries. The nerve of her dictating how you should feel about what someone said to you. The nice part about high school being over is you are not legally mandated to hang out with some of these people ever again. Yay! I just had my 50th birthday. I got exactly 3 kinds of gifts: liquor, toys/Lego, and a new planner. That's actually perfect for me. I already own everything I need. My parents bugged me about still getting toys and bugged me more for putting them away without opening them and letting the younger kids there play with them. I said that most of the stuff I got was either collectible or too advanced for the littles. I could pull out of my tub random Legos if my parents wanted to watch them because the rest of us were enjoying the party. My parents kept at it, telling me that toys were meant for children and that I was immature, not sharing toys. When I was out back, my mom went into my office and grabbed my new X-Wing set for the grandkids and great-grandkids to play with. My grandson came and got me because he knows my rules. He's 5. I came into the house and took the box back before they got any of the bags out. I put it in my office and locked the door. My mom said I was being a jerk, so I reminded her that they used to give away my toys when I was a kid. One Christmas, they had forgotten to get a gift for someone, and this was when stores were not open 365, so they wanted to wait until after I opened my gifts. They picked one, rewrapped it, and took it with them to give away. I was 6. It wasn't the first time, and it wasn't the last. I brought up a few more examples. They were embarrassed and left because I may have been louder than necessary because of some of my other gifts. My parents have been calling me and saying that I'm an idiot for bringing up shots from decades ago. I asked them if they ever wondered why I made sure to destroy the packaging or delicate parts of my toys my entire childhood. I knew they wouldn't give away damaged goods to the other people. They're mad, and my sister thinks I went too far, calling them out in public. Am I the idiot? When I was out back, my mom went into my office and grabbed my new X-Wing set for the grandkids and great-grandkids to play with. Friend, the gasp that I gasped? This is a choking hazard and zero fun for a kid. Not the idiot. And your parents need to figure out that they were done parenting you 30 years ago. It doesn't sound like they did a great job when you were an actual child. If he meant the newly released X-Wing, that's over $200 too. Mom messed about and found out. Lego sets aren't cheap, are highly collectible, and all that aside, it is yours. If you don't want someone else messing with it, that's your call. Mom can run down to Walmart and buy all the sets she wants for the kids to romp on. Can we also praise the grandson who knew to get OP before stuff got destroyed and saved the day and probably hundreds of someone's dollars? Can we call out his parents for abusing him mentally and emotionally as well? If she brings it up again in public, just say loudly, "You took away my toys when I was a kid to give them away to other kids, but I'll be darned if you're going to do it when I'm an adult." Each and every time. Let them know that you're fine with keeping it in the past, but if they ever try this again, even one peep, you will bring it up in front of everyone. Then do it. OP, my heart breaks for you. I, 39 male, am feeling conflicted about a recent decision I made regarding my daughter, teen, following the death of her mother. Since my wife's passing, life has been tough for both of us. Dealing with my grief while trying to provide for her has been challenging. My daughter has been extremely distraught, and I can see how much she's struggling emotionally. However, when she asked me for time off from school to process her grief, I prioritized her academic performance instead. I'll admit, I've always been a stickler for education. My daughter is a bright student who excels in her studies, particularly math and science, which are very important, and I wouldn't want to jeopardize that. When she approached me, I couldn't help but think about how it would impact her grades and future prospects. I was concerned that missing school would drop her academic performance and potentially hinder her chances of getting into a good college. Instead of allowing her to take some time off, I suggested that she continued attending school and told her that I believed that maintaining a routine and focusing on her education would provide stability and keep her on track. Apparently, my daughter was devastated by my decision. She accused me of not caring about her feelings and prioritizing her school performance over her emotional well-being. She believes I'm callous and unfeeling, dismissing her need for time to heal. So, Am I the idiot for putting my daughter's school performance ahead of her emotional well-being, as she put it, after her mother's death? I'm genuinely questioning if I made the right decision. You are the idiot. She needed time to grieve. A couple of weeks out of school won't ruin her academic results. I know this is hard, and I'm sorry for your loss, but you need to stop being lazy. Get her teachers involved and ensure she can take the rest she deserves while staying on track in school. I was a straight-A student, and my father died suddenly less than a month before I graduated high school. I only took a week off at that time, and I'm so thankful for the teachers that just let me take a letter off of my final grade rather than turn in a final project or a paper. However, with the fallout and everything that happened after, I really wish I'd taken the next year off to focus on mental health. But I was convinced that smart kids didn't do that, and my mom was in no place to think about it for me. I failed on my first year at a prestigious college. Then I had to take the time to deal with the crisis of no longer being a good student, my whole identity, on top of my dad's death. Mental health is more important. 100% agree. Do you really think your daughter's processing what she's being taught right now? Setting aside your cruel disregard for her mental health, your approach is completely counterproductive from an educational standpoint. If she continues to attend school uninterrupted, her teachers will expect her to meet the regular deadlines for papers and tests, even though she's not in the headspace to perform. If you let her take some time off to grieve, she likely would have extensions to complete her work, ultimately benefiting her education. It's time to get your head out of your butt and start parenting your child. I, 25 female, had a new colleague, 28-ish, come in last month. I didn't interact with her much since she's from another department, but she's in the same office as us, so we share a pantry. So I was heating up my lunch in the pantry yesterday. It was pork dumplings, and she was sitting at the table. I had some small talk with her and offered my pork dumplings. And while she was eating, she asked what it was, and I said pork dumpling. She spat it out and was really angry about it, saying I should have known she was Muslim and couldn't eat pork. I apologized, but she just left the pantry. The thing is, I only knew she was Arab, and she was like a European-looking Arab with blue eyes and blonde hair. She wasn't wearing any religious item to indicate she was Muslim. And this morning, I received a letter from HR for religious harassment. On one point, I could see why it's disrespectful, and I could be ignorant. Still, on the other hand, she's a grown adult, and she should have asked beforehand if she had a dietary restriction. Not the idiot. Make sure and challenge the assumptions that HR has made. Ask them why they didn't inform you of dietary restrictions, and if there are any more people in the organizations whose dietary restrictions they want you to be aware of. Ask them where this policy is that requires you to know all of your colleagues' dietary requirements. Ask them what part of you offering your colleagues some food and them accepting is harassment. Ask them how it could be religious harassment when you don't know your colleague's religion. Even if OP did know this person's religion, why presume that others know what every religion can and can't do? Heck, I know vegetarians that eat fish. They say vegetarian because not everyone knows what pescatarian is. The point is, everyone is different and needs to be responsible for themselves. If you have any type of dietary restriction, then it's up to you to ask about ingredients before eating something. No one these days can assume someone's religion, gender, orientation, allergen list, etc. The list goes on. I wouldn't assume someone's Muslim, Jewish, or Catholic just by ethnicity. If someone has dietary requirements, whether for religion, allergy, or preference, then I believe it's up to the person to confirm what they're eating is free of pork, peanuts, meat, etc. Crappy for you that you've been reported for religious bullying. I hope it works out okay for you. Good luck with it.